It is Tuesday, July 26, 2022. You are tuned in to the Big V Mafia, the Big Vito brand right here over on twitch.tv. I am your host, Dr. Jargo, PhD, and I am joined alongside the main event, the former WCW World Hardcore Champion, Big Vito LaGrasso. What's up, my man? It's good to see you.
How is everybody doing out there? Hope everybody's doing great. We're here for another action-packed show. We got a lot to talk about. Mr. Jargo.
What's up, my man?
I got some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Tom Hairpiece Brady got another toy to throw to in Julio Jones. I think that is one of the best signings Tampa Bay has made. They also got the tight end from the Giants, Kyle Rudolph. They have got a corpse there. I'm telling you, they're going to be explosive, more explosive.
It's kind of crazy when you look at this wide receiver core: Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, Rashard Perryman, Russell Gage, and now Julio Jones too. I mean, they are deep at the wide receiver position. Vito, I'm glad that you brought this up. This is actually what I was going to lead the show with as well. Here is the question. Right. In my dynasty football league, my fantasy football league, I have been offered a second round pick and Julio Jones for my number one pick next year. Do you do it?
No. Julio Jones is not guaranteed a 1,000-yard season and 10 touchdowns.
Not that deep.
Not that deep. And a second round pick, if you were talking a protected number one and Julio Jones, I'd say, all right, you got something to talk about. But a second round pick, you could pick somebody up off the waiver line. You could pick somebody off the practice squad. You can get somebody else, but then not too good. But the excitement of Julio Jones taking Antonio Brown's place, I'm telling you,
it's an upgrade to me.
Now, but hold on a second. We talked about this last year. We talked about talent. If I had to pick 3 wide receivers to throw to, I would take Julio Jones, I would take Antonio Brown, and I would take Odell Beckham Jr. as my 3. Now, that is star-studded. That is catch and run. That's explosive. And you're talking about, could there possibly be a reunion with Antonio Brown in Tampa? Could there possibly be? Odell Beckham is still not signed, and Chris Godwin is still not off the DL.
Yeah, Godwin's an interesting one coming back off of that ACL. Julio last year only appeared in 10 games. Right. 31 receptions, 434 yards, just one touchdown. So this is going to be a bit of a prove-it season for Julio Jones. But boy, I tell you what, if you're Tom Brady, you've got to be licking your chops. Now, my only concern here is this is not going to be the Los Angeles Lakers, right, Vito? Like, these guys are not too old. They can still go, right?
No. You're talking about Tom Brady, the consummate professional, and he gets guys to play. Look at Leonard Fournette, right? He got that big contract, and he came in overweight. Right now, they're working him, and they're making him. He got fat over the summer. He got that $7 million a year. He was happy, and I got to tell you, if he comes into shape, and then if Gronk comes back in the middle of the season, like everybody's expecting, wow.
Is Kyle Rudolph that big of a downgrade from Rob Gronkowski at this point in their careers? Because I feel like they're very much the same kind of player. The only thing Gronk's got going for him is that chemistry with Tom. Like, he just knows where Tom's going to put the ball. But
Gronkowski's big time. He comes up with catches down the middle. He's big time. Kyle Rudolph, he ain't got that pedigree that Gronkowski's got. He ain't got the chips. He ain't got that big game players. You know what I mean? He's a good football player. He's a good tight end. Nobody's Gronkowski. If I had to start a team with a tight end and they say, who do you want? I'm taking Gronkowski.
Imagine it's crazy to think. At one point, he was the second best tight end in New England.
Yeah. And you talk about, like, if you had to start a team, right? Just to say, if you had Antonio Brown, you had Julio Jones, your Odell Beckham Jr., and Gronk, as your 4 main guys to catch the ball. Oh my God.
It's crazy, right? And
It
then you
is
start
crazy.
getting in, and they already have Mike Evans.
And they have Mike Evans, and Mike Evans is a dynamo, right? And then today I also saw that they had the Dallas Cowboys to win the NFC East. Now,
Does
Mike
that really
McCarthy,
mean anything?
hold on. Mike McCarthy is only 18 and 15 with the Dallas Cowboys in a very weak division. And they
Very.
haven't won nothing, and they paid Dak all this money, right? But here go the Tampa Bay Bucks. Everybody's on the cheap deal, and everybody's producing, and everybody's winning. Makes you think.
Do you buy Dallas at all? I mean,
No.
even if they win the NFC East, they could be a 10-win team and win the NFC East.
No.
I don't buy anybody in the NFC East as any kind of a threat at this point.
They're still talking about the Eagles coming back and playing, at top notch at a top level. And
No.
you know what? It's going to come down to the same 4 teams every year. It's going to be the Eagles, the Giants, the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be the Washington Redskins. It's going to be, it is what it is in that division. It's going to be the same old, and we're going to see the same 4 teams battling out. I mean, hopefully it's not like the other year where there was a 6-win division winner, 6-game division winner, which was disgusting. But then you talk about, let's flip it over to the Jets, and the Jets have got an upgrade at almost every position. They got on their offensive line. They did everything possible. Now it's their defense is looking excellent. The thing that gets me is this number 3 pick, Mekhi Becton, the offensive lineman. He reminds me of Keith Lee so much. It makes me furious. Yeah, baby, I'm going to get here and get this contract. I'm going to come in, full fat out of shape. Yeah, we're going to rock it. Eventually when I get off my ass, I can't stand it. I hate when guys get the contract, and I hate when they don't play. I hate it.
I completely agree. And we have that same situation going on in another sport in New York. Vito, we haven't even gotten to talk about this Kevin Durant thing. I mean, we took a little bit of time off, and this whole Kevin Durant thing is blown up. And now today I'm hearing the Boston Celtics are in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. Can you buy Kevin Durant in Boston?
No, because Kyrie Irving tried to make it. And I'm going to say this, guys, and I'm going to say this in the most prestigious and classiest way that you can. When you are, you're a basketball player. And I know, in basketball, black is dominant in the sport. But when you're a black basketball player and you have greatness like Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, do you succeed in a town like Boston?
No. I mean, when you look at all those great Celtics teams, what do they all have in common? They're all very white.
It's Larry Bird town, right? So, but with the great team that they have, and they got great basketball players, right? But they just can't get over the hump. When they got Kyrie Irving, they thought they were going to push towards the championship, and they didn't get the job done. Now they want to take a stab at Kevin Durant, but they're giving up some major pieces off their roster. What are they offering? What's the latest? Yeah.
I mean, and Jaylen Brown immediately took to Twitter and was just like, wow, really?
Yeah. And that guy's been putting in work.
I feel like this relationship might be damaged even if this deal doesn't happen, where Jaylen Brown is just going to be like, really? You were just going to cut me loose and go after KD just like that? No respect, man. I mean, like, I know that's Jason Tatum's team, but Jaylen Brown's the one that carried that team all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Much props to Jaylen Brown, and I love the way he balls, and I love the way he plays, right? And you talk about burnt relationships, right? Now, I'm going to go back to football. I just wanted to cover this, right? Now, Jimmy Garoppolo, right? They already said it's Trey Lance's team. He's getting traded. He's out. But Jimmy Garoppolo didn't do anything but win in San Francisco, and he's out. Where do they put him? Where do they send him? What kind of trade value does he have?
Boy, at this point, I don't know who even needs a quarterback at this point outside of the Seattle Seahawks, who are inside of the division. Like, I don't see where you even move Jimmy Garoppolo at this point.
Do the Tampa Bay Bucks take Jimmy Garoppolo as the insurance policy?
I mean, I guess.
Oh, you're nonchalant about it, okay?
I really kind of am. I mean, I don't feel like Garoppolo fits what they're doing in Tampa. And I mean, it's Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady, of all the things that Tom Brady is, one thing he's never is hurt, except for that 1 year where he blew out his knee.
He's not going to the Patriots, which I think he would be a great fit to go back there, right? You look at the Cleveland Browns, right, with Deshaun Watson situation, they don't have a number 2. You talk about the New Orleans Saints with their 3-headed quarterback over there.
Blaine Gabbert is the Tampa Bay backup. I mean, Garoppolo is definitely an upgrade from Blaine Gabbert, but is he a significant upgrade from Blaine Gabbert?
No. I think Jimmy G is definitely a winner. He's got to be put in the right situation. Does he go to the Redskins?
Do the Alex Smith kind of route? That's another guy that all he did was win.
Does he go to the Giants? Ooh, juicy.
The Giants is an interesting one. Really, any of those teams not named the Dallas Cowboys inside of the NFC East is interesting. Detroit, I have a feeling, would be in the market if somebody wanted to take Jared Goff and that ridiculous salary off of their hands. Seattle's still kind of looking for a quarterback and with no clear direction.
You want to know who I would trade Jimmy G to, and I think he would win? I trade him to the Raiders. Derek Carr doesn't get it done for them.
See, and I would rather have Derek Carr than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh my, no way. No, he throws an ugly ball, the worst ball I've ever seen. No way.
He does.
Jimmy G is 10 times the quarterback than Derek Carr.
I don't know. I like me some Derek Carr. But I mean, I'm also a Packers fan, Vito, and I mean, there's a lot of Brett Favre in Derek Carr.
There could be a comparison there, but the big thing is, does he win?
Yeah. Well, I mean, is anybody going to win in Las Vegas right now? Like, do you buy the Vegas Raiders as any kind of contenders, especially in the same division as the Kansas City Chiefs?
No, I get it. Just as a reminder, guys, remember, we are closing our Patreon on August 1st. And also follow us on TikTok at the Big Vito brand. Hello to Ziggy in the house and all the people watching. Guys, I got to tell you, sports has been my life. Life has been my sports. I've been like a diehard fan of everything. But baseball. No man is worth $100 million, let alone $500 million. And when you're paying somebody $50 million to play ball, right? Remember, I say it all the time. What happens thank you for the opportunity. If I only had the chance, I would do it for free. And then you're declining $440 million.
And now, then you make the asinine comment that you just want to play ball.
Right, that you just want to play ball. But if you just wanted to play ball, why didn't you sign the contract for $440 million?
Right.
Or take a pay cut, give the home team a discount, and say, okay, I just want to play ball. Now, with that said, the Yankees, with their contracts, they have Stanton. They got to pay Aaron Judge if they're going to keep him. They have Jarrett Cole. I think those are the big 3 contracts. I think Chapman's contract is up this year. It's time to
move off Chapman, though.
I mean, he's still serviceable. DJ LeMahieu is still there. He's got $90 million coming. Aaron Hicks's contract is there. That was a waste of $70 million. But Juan Soto to the Yankees. What do you think about that?
I mean, sign me up. I'm down for it. I mean, as a Yankee fan, the Yankees do one thing better than anybody else, and that's spend money. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. You brought up on Carlos Stanton. You saw that he's going to the 10-day IL, right?
Yeah, he's going to the IL just before the Subway Series for the Mets because he's afraid of the Mets. And we know that he's afraid. We know.
I think Stanton's afraid of everybody right now, Vito. For what he's getting paid, he's only hitting 228 with 24 homers, 61 ribbies this year. 224.
I know in 80 games, double that, it's 50 homers, 100 RBIs. Blah, blah, blah.
224.
He was, I get it. I get it. But now, on the same token, we talk about New York teams who want to spend money. What about the New York Mets who now have the money to spend? Is he a fit for the New York Mets?
I think if you can get a bat like Soto into the lineup, you absolutely take that opportunity. Like, regardless, you absolutely take that opportunity. And if you are the New York Mets, you've got to be looking over your shoulder a little bit right now, right? Like, you've been in first place all season, all systems are go. Everybody's happy. We've got a baseball rivalry being reborn in New York. It's going to be Yankees, Mets. It's going to be a Subway Series. And here come the defending champs. 2 games behind the New York Mets. Kind of came out of nowhere. People sleeping on the defending world champion Atlanta Braves.
Yes, they
Vito, are the Mets poised for yet another Met meltdown, or are they finally going to get this monkey off their back? I would choose the first.
I think that with DeGrom coming back, Scherzer being in the rotation, I think they're going to pick up a bat and they're going to pick up a pitcher. Now, this kid they just picked up from the Pirates, I mean, I'm not fat shaming nobody. If you could play ball, you could play ball. But at 270 pounds, we saw Cecil Fielder, we saw Big Papi, we saw all these guys, right? When it comes to playing ball, no, the guy who really depressed me as far as that goes, Pablo Sandoval of the San Francisco Giants, when he signed that big contract and he got ridiculously overweight, almost 300 pounds. That guy was a ball player. Greatness was in his horizon, and he just let his shit go.
Yeah.
He let his shit go. It was sad. And here's this kid. Now, you know, they made a big thing for him going from second to home yesterday during the Mets game, but he's not there to run. He's there to hit.
How soon is DeGrom going to be back? I see that he's starting Wednesday at AAA. How many starts are they going to give him at AAA?
He's got one more. This is the final tune-up.
This is the last one. How soon is he back? Next week?
Sunday, possibly. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days rest, possibly Saturday, Sunday. Sunday, if they need him. I don't know how long the Yankee series is. Is the Yankee series 5 games or 4?
No, I think it's 3.
3 games. All right. So
it's only 2-game series.
It's 2-game series. Okay.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
All right. Now, with all that said, we're going to switch to basketball, right? Go ahead.
As a sub note, they do have 4 games coming up against Atlanta.
I know that.
That's going to be a big series. Those 4 games against Atlanta. That's bigger than this Yankee series. I know everybody wants to talk Yankees versus Mets. That 4-game series against Atlanta, that's going to be a real testament for the Mets.
So I think they're going to save him for that. That's why I said Monday. I think that's I don't think that Atlanta is after the Yankees. I think he's there. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's what I think.
Thursday is when the series starts. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week.
All right, so there you got your answer where you got your big guns coming. I wanted to get back and want to talk about camaraderie in sports. How do you think Russell Westbrook is feeling now that he's been in every trade scenario in God's green country, okay? And he's still a Laker. In your best assumption, what is the holdup? Why is he still a Laker?
Well, the holdup is that ridiculous contract. I mean, nobody wants that contract. There's a lot of people that would love to have Russell Westbrook. Nobody wants to pay him $38 million next season. I mean, I think that's really what it comes down to. I think the biggest thing for Westbrook at this point is every one of those 817 trade scenarios that you mentioned, Vito, they all have Russell Westbrook ending up an Indianapolis Pacer.
Yeah, I know.
Westbrook's not going to be happy with that. And let me tell you, living here in Indy fans are not going to be happy with that. Indy fans are ready to make the deal with the Lakers. They'll send Buddy Hield. They'll send Miles Turner. But we have to get Westbrook back. We have to get at least 4 first-round picks from the Lakers. What? And they want THT. And you know what they want to do, Vito? Immediately waive Russell Westbrook. That's what they want to do. Save the salary and immediately waive Russell Westbrook. That's the opinion of Russell Westbrook in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Pacers don't even want him.
Wait a second. He ain't worth 4 first-round picks plus Buddy Hield.
No, he ain't worth no 4 first-round picks.
But the worst trade scenario, okay, is that they had him going. Now, I can understand the Knicks wanting to do this. They wanted to trade him to the Knicks for Randall and Derrick Rose.
Right.
That cures 2 big holes for the Lakers. Now, the Knicks are in trade talks with the Jazz for Donovan Mitchell. So how would the Knicks look? Russell Westbrook, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, with R.J. Barrett and Mitchell Robinson.
Do the Knicks have the capital to pull off both of those moves? Because I kind of feel like they only have the capital to pull off one.
They could do the 2 moves. But if you had Brunson, Donovan, and Westbrook, do you start all 3 or does one come off the bench? And you just
I think
Brunson.
I start them all. I think I start them all. Yeah.
Okay, so
I think I would.
Westbrook is your...
Westbrook's my point, unquestionably. I'm not taking the ball out of Westbrook's hands.
And where do you put Brunson?
Probably at the 2. Put RJ at the 3, Donovan at the 4, and then run with whoever you want at the 5.
Mitchell Robinson is the 5.
That's what I would do, I think.
And you think Donovan Mitchell can handle the power forward position?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I feel like he's definitely a 4. Don't you?
He's a big boy. He could do. He's
would be a big boy, but he's not big enough to be a 5.
No. I mean, you really want to hear what I would do? Like, really throw a monkey in this? If I was the Knicks, and this is like really talking, like really, like getting really down here, I would trade Randall, and I would trade another piece, but I would trade for Ben Simmons and put Ben Simmons at the 5.
The problem is all of these scenarios for the Knicks involve trading for guys that can't shoot in a shooter's league.
But that's the defensive coach and the defensive minded. And then when they played defense and they didn't have the shooters, right? They got to the number 4 seed. When they had the shooters, they didn't even make the play in.
They need better shooters, clearly. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
They got rid of the guys who got them there. That's what really upset a lot of people. Now, you look at Walker, right? He's going back to the Hornets, right, where he's comfortable. I could see him going there. Who's the kid they signed, the other shooter there? What's his name? I see his face, the white kid from the Boston Celtics.
Not sure, man.
The shooter who scored 30 for the opening day. What's his name? Evan Fournier.
Fournier. Yeah. Okay.
Fournier, right. I don't think he fits the New York style.
Well, I think Fournier would have to be part of that Donovan Mitchell deal. If you're going to pull that off.
Yeah. He's a trade cog, right?
Yeah, so he's the Tyler Hero inside of the Kevin Durant situation.
Right. Now, would you, when they talked about Kevin Durant to Miami and they talked about straight up Jimmy Butler, I wouldn't trade Jimmy Gangster for nobody.
Nope.
Not a soul.
I don't think that works because in order to get Kevin Durant to Miami, I feel like Miami would have to give up way too much for a team that's already in the NBA Finals. I'm not taking Tyler Hero off that team just to bring in Kevin Durant. Not with the chemistry they got going on down there in Miami. Miami is an overachieving team. I don't think that they're necessarily that great, but the chemistry and the way those guys play together makes them the force that they are. I mean, like straight up head to head, I feel like they could lose any game and then they could win any game, but it's that camaraderie. It's the chemistry that they have assembled down there. What Pat Riley has put together, that's what makes Miami go. It's not the stars.
I got to tell you something. If I had to pick and choose the team and I had to choose between Kevin Durant and Jimmy Butler, I take Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Butler's a dog. He's a baller. He's a dog. That guy. Every time they need a basket, he comes through. I think Kevin Durant's legacy is tarnished because he went to the Warriors, right? And the Warriors don't want him back, and the Warriors have the assets to trade for him.
But again, when you look at what Golden State has built there, what piece do you want to move? Like all their pieces are in the right places, right? If you bring in Kevin Durant, you're disrupting those rotations and you're taking away some of those pieces. I don't feel like Golden State is a better team with Kevin Durant than they are right now.
They have Wiseman, who they're unsure of, who played in the summer league. He did okay. He's a rotation guy, even though he was a number one pick. You know, he was one guy going. There were two other players that I think Wiggins was going. I think it was Wiggins, but I wouldn't trade Wiggins. Wiggins is a 3-and-D guy, right? And then they had another kid who was going to go. But Kevin, I think it was him. So the best trade scenario that I see is Anthony Davis and Westbrook for Kyrie Irving and Durant. Solves everybody's problem.
I tell you what, y'all can keep Kyrie. We'll give you Westbrook and AD just for KD.
I don't think that'll fly, bud.
I'm fine with that. As a Lakers fan, I'm fine with it. You can send Kyrie wherever you want. You can trade him to the Greek league.
Who does LeBron run with? He needs. I'm telling you,
LeBron needs a lot more help than what he's going to get out of AD, Westbrook, or Durant at this point.
I am not an Anthony Davis fan. I never was. He's a lazy 7-footer who doesn't want to mix it up in the paint. He has no oomph. He wants to hang out and shoot jumpers. He wants to clean up around the boards when there's smaller guys in there. He has no oomph. He definitely doesn't have that old school fighter mentality like a Dennis Rodman to get in there and mix it up. If he did, he'd be deadly. If he was Shaq and had Shaq's attitude, he'd be tremendous. He just doesn't have it.
Outside of Jokic, is there a big in the league that you feel like does have that right now? I feel like that's why Jokic is so damn dominant, right? Because Jokic absolutely has that. He is a throwback to the centers of 25 years ago. I feel like he's the only true center in the league right now.
Well, here's the thing. When he played against the Knicks, he didn't have an easy time. And the Knicks were a three-headed monster with Robinson, and you had Nerlens Noel and Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson ain't no slouch. Nerlens Noel is a beast around the boards. And Mitchell Robinson, when he's playing, he's good. And he had a problem with the Knicks front court. I think that, he's a great center. Is he all world against other people? But if I had to start a team and you say, okay, you got LeBron, you got this one, I would start my team with LeBron as the number 5.
See, whereas I go the exact opposite way. If I was building a team around LeBron James, I make LeBron James my Magic Johnson. He's my point guard.
But he's been the point guard for how many years and how many chips has he won? That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, Vito, you know me. I feel like LeBron James is the most overrated player in NBA history, but I feel like he's a lot more Magic Johnson than he is Michael Jordan.
He is, right? But then when you talk about what he's accomplished with the ball, right, he still averaged 30 points last year. He had 7 assists, 7 rebounds. He had a phenomenal season, and he carried that team all the way. So, and then we have Carmelo Anthony, who everybody laughed at a couple years ago. I would love to see,
including me. Hands up.
including you. Hands up.
Hands up, you bet.
I would love to see him finish. I would love to see him sign with the Knicks and be on the Knicks squad for the second unit because I think he would light up the Garden.
I would love to bust out my Carmelo Anthony #7 Knicks jersey. I've got it upstairs.
You do.
And it's in the pile of players like, I can't wait to wear this jersey again, but he's got to be retired for about 3 years before I can bust it out. But if he goes back to the Knicks, I will bust that shit out tomorrow.
How electric would the Garden be if the Knicks made the playoffs with Anthony on the squad and Anthony's in there in the fourth quarter?
Yeah. Yeah. You got to have a point guard, though. You got to have a point guard because Melo can't make his own shot anymore. Melo can run to a spot on the floor and shoot from that spot, but he's not beating anybody off the dribble at this point in his career.
I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation because I'm going to throw something else at you, right? Say if they did do the Donovan Mitchell trade, they got Brunson, okay? They bring in Westbrook, okay? RJ Barrett.
Love RJ.
Carmelo Anthony at the number 4 position. Wow.
Yeah.
That's some scorers right there.
I mean, personally, I hope that the Lakers just re-sign Melo, and Melo is back in the Forum blue next year. But I'll do you one more, Vito, before I let you go this week. How about this? We know that we're off the Anthony Davis train in LA.
Right.
We got to move Russell Westbrook.
Got to.
And I know they're not going to want to do it because they don't want to trade in conference, but I will give you Russell Westbrook. I will give you Anthony Davis. I'll give you 2 first-round picks and Horton Tucker for Damian Lillard. I'd do it in a heartbeat.
You just overpaid. You just traded the farm.
Damian Lillard and LeBron James together, I think, would be lethal. I really do.
No, Damian Lillard is a beast.
He would spread the floor, and LeBron could just slash to the basket. And either Dame is going to kill you from 3 or LeBron is going to go alley-oop heavy. I would love to see those two guys play together.
For sure. One quick note before we go, and I know we're on time restraint and everything. We got things to do, and I just want to bring up the state of pro wrestling. Okay. And I know it's been the big news this week. And I know Mr. Jargo is an advocate of wrestling. He's a fan of wrestling. I, as well, have been involved in wrestling for over 30 years. Mr. Jargo, what do you think of all the scenario that's going on with the former CEO of the WWE? And if you could put it in your own words in a polite way, I would like to hear your comment.
Well, it's complicated, right? Because I mean, the first thing that I thought when I heard the news about Vincent Kennedy McMahon resigning his position as CEO, he's going to retire, so to say, is damn, they finally got him.
Right.
That was my initial response was, damn, they finally got Vince. The question is who got him? And everybody that I see that is benefiting from this entire scenario right now, Stephanie McMahon, Nick Khan, Triple H, the same people that I thought, I could see any one of them being the ones that leak this information to the media. Right. It's sad that it went down this way, Vito. I'm not the biggest fan of Vince McMahon. I think Vince McMahon has just been exposed as the dirty slime ball that he is over the course of the last 30 years. That said, Vince McMahon is responsible for a lot of really great memories from my childhood and my love for professional wrestling that I have carried with me today. And so I thank Vince for that. I'm not sad to see Vince go, but I am sad that it is under these circumstances. How about that?
That is a very good analogy. And I will add this, I started off my career as a rookie in the WWF. And I watched Vince McMahon as the greatest announcer ever. I would watch him and I would look at his shows and the way he poised and his interviews by the ring and WOR and him interviewing Andre the Giant, Opera and Seeger, Chief Jay Strongbow, Tony Garea. I mean, I look at that, and that's what I fondly remember. Him being an entrepreneur and taking over the business for his father, I think that he had a vision, which he did, which was WrestleMania, and he pulled it off, and he had some great WrestleManias. Um, are there things behind the scenes that go on in every worldwide business? Yes. If you think this is the only business that this happened to, you're absolutely out of your mind. Okay. For the legacy that he could have left, it could have been as great as being the Pope. But the legacy that he is leaving is probably one of the ugliest legacies you'll see from a great mind, a billionaire, an entrepreneur, a businessman. Okay. Because you got to remember, he still is a billionaire, he's still one of the richest men in the world. You don't get that way just from, rolling the dice and hitting lotto. You know what I'm saying? Got to make some moves. You got to be a shaker and baker. You got to have the right connections. But with all the people he could have helped who needed help, all the people he could have enriched more and helped more to grow in the business, I think it's a sad state for him being, shutting people off and not being approachable and having everybody who was his underling do his dirty work for him. That's another detriment to the WWE and what was the concept of that culture. And guys, it was a culture there that goes beyond your imagination. You just wish it was better, a better ending. Now, is he totally out? Today came up and said that he's still behind the scenes calling the shots. I don't know. But
I don't buy it. After watching Raw last night, which, yes, I actually watched a full episode of Monday Night Raw last night because I was curious, right? Like, Hunter, the first Monday Night Raw of the Triple H era, right? With Triple H as the head of creative. How is the show going to feel? Is it going to be any different? I saw a lot of changes on that show last night, Vito. A lot of changes.
Wrestling 101 never fails. And how long have I been telling you that? And how long have I been saying that? Wrestling 101. All right. We're going to end it like that. Mr. Jargo, if you can clean this mess up and take us home, we'd appreciate you.
Absolutely. Number one, shout out to Mop Boy. Shout out to Ziggy in the chat room over on Twitch. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow with an all-new edition of The Sit Down right here at the Big V Mafia, the Big Vito brand here now at twitch.tv. Keep up with Vito across social media platforms at the Big Vito brand, at the Big V Mafia. Keep up with me at Not Jargo. I'm over on Twitter, even though I deleted most of my Twitter last night. I'm over the whole social media thing. I think it's time for a little bit of a break, kind of a little bit of a reset. So keep up with me also over at theblowofppod.com, an all new episode coming with myself and DJ Mass Effect's Jimmy T tomorrow. We're going to talk a lot more about this Vince McMahon situation. Vito, anything you want to plug, promote, put over before we get out of here today?
I just want to thank everybody in the Twitch Nation for being part of this. I would like to thank more of my people from TikTok. Please subscribe, everybody. Subscribe. Patreon is closing. We definitely appreciate all the well wishes. We appreciate everybody standing behind us. We're going to be together tomorrow night for the sit down. It's going to be the full round table. We're going to be here live at 6:30. Check us out. And that's all I got this week. Mr. Jargo, thank you for a wonderful show. Thank you for talking sports. It was always a pleasure. Guys, peace out, and we'll see you next time. And thank you, everybody, for watching in the chat and everything. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.